You just robbed me of my chance to face a former champion, and I'm not happy about it.
What happened? You were supposed to destroy the dark side, not join them?
Now, I know you all have enjoyed Ace's little Cinderella story, but now it's time for Cinderella to face a reckoning, dear children.
Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
Uh-oh, my brother. I think you might be muted. You might be muted, my brother.
What is up, guys? Welcome to First Cut Live. It is your boy Andres. I am here with the First Cut squad. I'm going to introduce my starting lineup right now. Starting at center, the biggest one in the crew, 7'2", Sabrina Ramirez. What is up?
Hey, I'm doing well. Just in the process of moving and everything. So this is a nice little break. Thank you. It's still a work in progress, but this is a nice little break. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Come on, man.
Yeah.
No spoilers, I don't think, but
I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Either way, starting at power forward, draining them threes from the corner. RB3, what is up, man?
Yeah, what's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Yeah, it was, I mean, I don't know what kind of spoilers we talk about. We're not going to talk about whatever, but all I got to say is there's one champion in our midst right now, in this very moment, and I got to shout him out. That is Mr. Andres Cabrera. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. We gotta give it up. We gotta give this dude some praise for an amazing match you just played. Whatever the results are, I guess. I don't know how long we on dance around it, but I think you did an impeccable job, my brother. So good stuff.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Obviously, this has been a good distraction throughout this quarantine time. Just studying Star Wars and watching a ton of Star Wars movies. It's kind of insane the level I've been going at. But speaking of quarantine, let's do it. We always do it for First Cut Live. Let's do our quarantine catch-up or quarantine update. How is La Cuarentena treating you, Sabrina?
yeah, it's been pretty good. Some moments are better than others, but it's things like this. It's being here with, our subscribers, being able to chat with you guys. I miss you both so much. I tell everybody, I'm missing a hug from Andres and RB3. That was my favorite thing about doing the episodes and seeing you guys. I'm counting down the days till I can hug you both. So it's been a little up and down, but I'm in the process of moving, so it's nice because I have this whole new setup to kind of worry about. But yeah.
Awesome. RB3, how you holding up, man?
Man, I'm just doing my best, trying to survive here. We've been doing a lot more with this whole live streaming stuff recently.
Killing it, man.
Man, I'm trying, man. I don't know if I'm really killing it or not. I think I'm just doing a bad job, and nobody else really knows how to do it. So they just have me help. But yeah, no, it's been a fun time. I know we did the Star Wars Explained video very recently together, which cool. I think was really fun. Really great fan base they got there at Star Wars Explained. Alex and Molly Damon, what they built over there. And then I did the Nerdist show on Monday as well.
Dude, congrats! Yeah. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was cool, man. Nah. It was
talking about Disney parks.
Yeah. Did you actually watch? You actually watched it?
I did, yeah.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, it was it was cool. It was a fun time, man. Salute to the people over there, Dan Casey, Riley Silverman, and all of everybody who was on the crew. Markia, our homie Markia was there as well. Yeah. So yeah, it was a great time. It was awesome.
Yeah, I heard you guys got into a pineapple on pizza debate again. Everywhere you go, man.
Everywhere I go, I just got to rep the pineapple on piece of flag strong, man. If I'm going to be the only one who's repping it, so be it. But it's important to rep for sure.
So
Nah.
so what was your guys' conclusion on the Pizza Hut? What was it? Noodles and pizza?
Yeah. Oh, the ramen on pizza.
Ramen
stuff.
on pizza.
Yeah. Nah, that I'm not too
That's
much
a little.
of a fan of. Yeah, it's a little.
That's
extreme.
a little much, bro.
It's a little extreme,
Is that a
but
thing?
yeah, that's the thing. They're
Apparently.
having Pizza Hut Taiwan. Yeah, and it's funny it's happening in Taiwan, and ramen is like a Japanese food or whatever. But it works out. They loving it over there.
It's crazy because Pizza Hut does that internationally. Because in Saudi Arabia they do the Pizza Hut cheeseburger pizza. That's in the
That I could get behind.
the Arab Emirates, but apparently that is much. Apparently it's a lot. But either way, I'm so glad to hear you guys are doing okay. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. And speaking of quarantine, is that this doesn't look like it's gonna end, guys. In fact, it looks like just like the Cleveland Cavaliers down 3 games. It looks like Corona is making a comeback right now. Only RB3 is getting that reference.
3-1. Yeah, I blow a 3-1 lead.
Blow a 3-1 lead. Now Corona's coming back. Like, hey, you guys thought I was gone. I'm coming back. I got LeBron James on my team. That's how COVID is right now, because it looks like this might last a whole year.
Yeah.
Am I crazy for thinking that, guys? I'll start with you, Sabrina.
Oh no, 100%. I mean, the thing is, it's not even a surprise, kind of. We're always hoping for the best, but the precautions and everything, it just hasn't been up to caliber the way it should have from the start. And so they talk about like second wave and everything. I don't even feel like the first wave never really ended. I know they started opening things back up, and it just kind of was so irresponsible. And it's something that, we've been talking about this entire time, because a few good things in my life have come out of it just because we started our live, and I love doing that and being able to do things like that. And so we started talking about this from the beginning. We talked about how concerts aren't going to happen till 2021, the earliest, like absolutely at the earliest, and it could possibly be longer. And same thing with movies. It's when are people going to feel actually comfortable being in close proximity of each other, because some people are so irresponsible and they aren't taking the precautions that they should. So that's just why I'm not surprised, really.
Yeah, it really does feel like this is turning into even more of a nightmare. But RB3, I'm going to give you a tiny bit of shade just because I have to, my dude. Back when we did our first quarantine catch-up.
I know you're going to say this. I knew you were going to say this.
You called it the Rona.
Yeah.
And we were at Sabrina's house, and you were like, bro, this ain't going to last more than, what would you say, 2 months?
2 months. And hey, listen.
2 months.
For a while there.
Because of you, RB3, we're going through this again.
For a while, I thought the 2 months was looking good. For a while, the 2 months was looking good. Beginning of June, things were looking good. Things were opening up. I thought we were going to start heading towards a path where we're starting getting more treatments, better understanding of the stuff, and we'll just be able to handle it better. And I thought people would just be more responsible and wear a mask. But, the more you go out, the more you see people not wearing masks, the more you see people are just like kind of ignoring like the bare minimums, which is sad because there was something like in Japan, like they didn't shut down anything. Like they literally kept everything open. They didn't do a single lockdown, but everybody just wore a mask and social distance, and less than 1,000 people died from it. Like it would have just been that easy. Like, and it's like kind of embarrassing that like Americans can't like take the basic generosity of like caring about other people and their surroundings to not spread this like virus and not practice social distancing for the better good. So
can I even add to that? I don't even think it's bare minimum. I think Americans are kind of certain Americans are going out of their way to like pull a Rudy Gobert and just be like, I don't care about nothing. I'm gonna touch whatever. Ain't no coronavirus. Coronavirus is a hoax kind of vibe. And I feel like that has added to it. In addition to the whole mask situation.
Right,
oh,
for
yeah.
sure, most
it's
definitely.
To see some people out on the internet saying like, it's my right not to wear a mask and things like that. And it's like, you're putting other people at risk. Just because you think a certain way and just because you don't believe it doesn't mean that it's not real. This is affecting everybody's life in such a negative way. This is affecting our world in such a negative way. So to try to like deny certain things and say you don't believe it and say things are a hoax, it just doesn't really make sense because this is serious. And like I had two of my close family members, my sister and my dad, both tested positive, and they were the safest people I have ever, like, literally, they were inside their house. My dad, unfortunately, had to go into work because he was an essential worker, and that's where he got it, because also people at his work weren't being safe. And that truly is what it is. People were just getting really close to each other. People were not wearing masks, things like that. And so him and my sister, right from the start, once like the lockdown happened, they stayed inside their house. They didn't leave. And it's just other people being irresponsible. And so we really just need to people need to be empathetic towards each other. And then so we can get through this as safe and as quick as possible. We all want this to be over. So just wear a damn mask.
Yeah. I feel like the biggest thing this is obviously doing, and we talked about it during our first time doing this quarantine COVID thing, is the idea of the financial devastation that it's taking on the nation and the world. The longer this goes, the longer people don't have employment, the longer we're getting buried in debt, the longer people still have to pay rent, which again, I'm very upset about. I will never stop talking about this. I'm so glad John Oliver talked about it last week. Literally, that was his entire episode, was talking about the whole idea of paying rent through this quarantine, even though you're not going to work and you're getting the bare minimum when it comes to the financial support people are receiving through unemployment. I just feel like there needs to be a dramatic shift in the focus towards people and not corporations. And towards improving our entire financial system as a whole. And I hope, I'm sure you got a lot to say about that, RB3.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad that, like, you know, when you look at, like, there are ways that this economic situation could have been handled better too. Like, there could have been a rent freeze. There could have been, like,
yes,
there could have been, you know, frankly, you look at other countries, like Canada did $2,000 a month for their people. Like, what we get, like, one measly $1,200 check, like, at the very beginning of this thing, and, like, what's that gonna do? Nothing. Like, and most people couldn't even a lot of people couldn't even qualify to get it. So it's like you know, it's like they blatantly show you that they don't have any basic regard for what us at the bottom are going through. They just really care most about how can we help, like, the big corporations. How can we, you know, because they have this whole idea of, like, if we give them more money, they're going to keep more of their employees, or they're not going to fire people. But then they turn around and get the money and fire people anyway. So
yeah, I was going to say, they literally fire everyone and just keep the funds they got.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really sad. It's devastating. It's, like, really upsetting to know that, like, we live in a system that could just, like, tolerate that. And it's upsetting to know that, like, unfortunately, you know, it's like for a lot of young people, we actively speak out against them. We actively vote against them. We protest against it. But there's still, like, this dated, old mentality of, you know, that is just still looming over our beliefs now. So it's really sad. It's really unfortunate. But you can only hope for the better. But it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. So.
Well, what this leads to is a conversation that I want to go to now, which is what's happening now specifically with movie theaters. And obviously that's what we like to talk about here, is movies and the effect that it has on movies. But you know what? I'm going to mention a quick little thing. The idea of gyms and the idea of movie theaters, two places where a lot of group of people gather, in two industries that are currently under a lot of financial stress, that are now starting to lean a little towards the whole, well, whatever. If we're going to get infected, let's get infected. As long as we make money, that's what we care about. That's what's happening now in Arizona when it comes to gyms that are defying the order from the governor and opening gyms anyways. Certain gyms are doing that. And then theaters are so desperate to open up. And it leads to our conversation now that even they're leaning into the whole, like, we don't want to get political about masks, which is what the AMC CEO said a couple weeks ago. And they're starting to lean towards the whole, well, if people die from corona, so be it, but we have to make money. And now, kind of focusing on the whole movie theater aspect, it's the idea of Tenet. Tenet is the golden egg. Tenet is the literal Ark of the Covenant as far as this push and pull that is happening between movie studios, movie theaters, audiences, Americans in general. I had a conversation, and I'll finish on this, and I'll toss it to you guys about this with my mom. And I told my mom, look at Tenet. Tenet is so desperate to open up, and open up in theaters, right? Because Chris Nolan will refuse any kind of VOD type of thing. But I feel like Christopher Nolan is going out of his way to say, I'm going to be the first one to open up. Yeah. And I know I'm throwing a lot at Christopher Nolan and not Warner Brothers, but I feel like he has a lot to do with this. And he's saying every Tenet trailer I see during any kind of TV show, whatever you're watching on TV right now, let's say SportsCenter, they always say, only in theaters July 31st, or they were saying that a couple weeks ago. And it feels like it feels like it's Chris Nolan with like this pitchfork running towards the theaters and being like, open up, I want my movie in the theater. And it's just, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it should happen. Not this way, right? Am I the only one who feels like I want to see Tenet in peace and not with a mask and 6 feet of distance between me and the people in the movie theater?
Well, it comes down to the movie-going experience. And one of the things that I love being in a packed theater, which is obviously unrealistic right now. Being in a packed theater, hearing the audience reaction, feeling the energy of everybody as we're watching a film, especially something like Tenet. And it's like Christopher Nolan's trying to be like the savior of cinema. He's like, my movie will make money, because that's the truth. Especially, I think it's going to do, if it opens up, I know they changed it to like August 12th or something. Yes. They pushed it back a few times now. But he keeps not budging. And then as we get closer to every single date, he's like, okay, you know what? We'll move it back a little bit more. And I just wish he would just put it on hold for a second, because this isn't what's important. And it really, I said it on SEN, I was like, he needs to just hunker down and just give it, like, take a break for a second, really reflect on everything that's happening in the world that's a lot more important than Tenet. I'm excited for Tenet. We talked about it when we said most anticipated films of 2020. We talked about it a ton, but I don't want to see it on VOD, so I would rather just wait till it's safe, but I do want to have that movie-going experience. I don't want to have, like, a very, like, not even half-full theater watching that film, or risk anybody's safety or my own just to go see Tenet.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable environment that you're bringing to the movie theaters. But again, a lot of it does feel like he just needs to sit down.
Well, yeah,
right?
Well,
he's got no seats in his production, so he can't sit.
Well, see, this is why listen, you go back and you listen to our old episode of our Christopher Nolan episode, which you can find on our YouTube channel, at First Cut TMO. You can find, but when we did our Christopher Nolan the meaning of episode, I told you right then, Nolan's always been a low-key conservative, like, and you see that like through all of his movies, like, and that's not a bad thing. I like that he's a filmmaker who like has a voice, but no matter what, like, his voice is always going to reflect that. And listen, I said this on the Nerdist show, but if Tenet sucks, I'm going to personally sue Christopher Nolan for all this pain and grief he's giving movie fans. Because,
but can we be honest and say it probably won't, though?
It probably won't. It probably won't suck. And unfortunately, like, this is like my favorite. This is my most anticipated movie of the year. Yeah. I do think this could, like, it. I would love for this movie to be the savior of cinema under safe precautions. Like, I thought, like, back in March and in April, I thought under safe precautions, this movie is going to open safely in July. But like, if it's not going to open safely, then it's not even my concern. Like, even at this point, even if it is August, and even if they insist on opening it and everything, and the government, everything says it's safe, I'm still going to wait like maybe a month or two before I even take that risk, because I don't think, it's even the way I want to, in taking this whole thing, unless I'm going to go in a full on like hazmat suit or something. So it's tough. I don't know. I wish. I want nothing more but to see this, and to see movies like Soul, and to see Black Widow, which I have a buddy who actually saw Black Widow right before the whole shutdown even happened. So he's one of the lucky few people. And yeah, it's just and it's just, it really sucks. These are all movies we're looking forward to, but at the expense of keeping ourselves safe and the people around us safe, we should stay safe and be precautious with all of this stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of it feels like it's a Warner Brothers and Chris Nolan type thing, where their relationship with theaters and movie theaters and movie watching, which again, we're all for. All three of us, I can say that we're all pro go watch a movie in theaters and not on your phone. However, a lot of other filmmakers have kind of used this format of, we can talk Josh Trank, Judd Apatow, who have said, hey, VOD's fine, let's do VOD, we can still make a profit, and people get to see the movie. And we don't have to worry about people not seeing the movie. So it's this weird balance, but now it's starting to turn into, should we sacrifice the health of our people for the success of a industry, which is the theater industry, more than the movie industry, Sabrina?
Well, it is really great that you mentioned Josh Trank, because I had a conversation with him when we were preparing for the episode, and he said he spent months just doing the sound design and sound editing meant for a theater. And he still put it out on VOD and things like that. And of course, that's not the way sometimes that you want to put out a film. But he was able to be like, okay, the world is unsafe, but I still want people to see my movie. So this is just where I'm going to have to go right now. And it just, to see other people not take those precautions and not take everything seriously, it's just really disheartening. And it's one of those situations where, yeah, we're all excited for this movie. We keep talking about it. Everyone talks about Tenet. Every single time they change the date, everyone's like, okay, so will it come out now? And it's like, we keep saying, just put it on pause, just hold for a second, because it's just not going to happen right now.
Yeah, and it's funny that I love how RB3 mentioned the whole Chris Nolan thing, because you start to see, like, wait a minute, dude, like, what are you trying to say right now? The theaters are more important than health, but I guess that's kind of what he's trying to say.
I think it's just his ego.
Yeah, I was gonna, you know what, and I was gonna say it's the ego. He wants to be known as in the history books for the guy, and then that's something you see throughout his entire career. He wants to be a groundbreaking filmmaker, and he is.
Kinda is.
He is. He is. He deserves that, but I don't think this is the right way to break ground. Honestly,
not now. At least not now. Maybe in a few months. I feel like, hey, let's try it again. Then yes. Let's go through some super chats before I lose them. Larry Lease, $10 super chat says, I'm so angry over that match. Jeez, I know, man. Jesus.
Larry Lease was one of the haters, huh? That's why he was mad, huh, Larry? That's right, Larry.
Flash 18487 says, Ace, will you ever play in the singles division? I don't know, but maybe. I have no idea right now.
I can see it.
Alec Miller says, give it up for Ace and the best manager in the game, Swaggy Blurred. Love you guys. He also says, pineapple belongs on pizza.
Yes. Is Winston in the chat? If Winston's free, Winston, shoot me a text if you're free, man. We can have you on for a second.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
Larry Lee says, hit me up if you want to hire an unemployed theater worker. Yeah, sorry, dude.
Sorry, man.
156 Impulse says, congratulations to Ace. Hi, Sabrina. Hi, RB3. Love you guys. Here in New Jersey, stay away. We are getting better. Movie theaters are not open yet. Stay away. Yeah, we will stay away from New Jersey. Alden Diaz says, I'm in Florida and they're basically throwing us to the wolves here. Our leadership is just laughable, and I'm going full Luke in The Last Jedi. Catch me alone in solitude for a few years. That's what it's looking like, man. And I don't know, as much as, okay, we'll talk about it later, but I don't know if it's mentally healthy to be so quarantined right now, to be honest. But then again, this is the guy
I would love to talk about that because...
Yeah, because to be fair, this is coming from the guy who's just watching Star Wars movies. 156 Impulse says, I know a bodybuilder and he is pissed at our governor in New Jersey because he won't open the gym. And they are going to Pennsylvania to work out, and I can't wait until Tenet. Yeah, man, that's that dedication right there. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Like,
yeah, you've been at the Star Wars gym, huh? You've been lifting those lightsabers.
Yeah. Lifting those nerdy notes.
Yeah, those Millennium Falcon reps. You know what I mean? Yeah, doing the whole set. I like it.
That's what's getting me mentally fit, bruh.
Yeah.
BCD says, I try to keep my thoughts to myself on this. I will just say it here, wear a mask. If you do not, I can easily get sick, then my family, and then it sucks. Yeah. Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit about that, Sabrina, just because I'm starting to feel like, as much as, yes, safety is important, I do feel like there has to be some sort of, I don't want to say mental therapy, but yeah, mental therapy, as far as being so isolated for so long, and the fact that we're continuing this isolation. It just feels a little bit overwhelming. And I feel like people have to create an avenue. And this is speaking to like people in general, of allowing a safe way to interact with other people. And I don't know what that is right now, to be honest. Maybe it is this digital format. Maybe it is Zoom. Maybe Zoom takes over the world. But what can be done for mental health right now? Because I feel like that is kind of a big issue in just human life in general.
Yeah, I've been talking about from the beginning about kind of like I've been open with my own struggles with mental health, and a lot of my daily life, basically like release, was going to bars with people, was going to lunch with my friends, things like that. Obviously before this happened. So I had to really, because I constantly went out, I constantly did stuff, and this was a quick change, because we all know this happened in America in an instant. It was basically like one weekend, you're fine, and then all of a sudden, nope, stay inside. And I, of course, respect that, because it's the safety of myself and others. But it has been difficult to kind of go through this transition when I'm so used to always being outside and doing stuff. And so kind of what I've found that helps a little bit from the interaction side is definitely doing this with you guys, doing these Zoom meetings, even when we're just hanging out before and afterwards, or other times that we're all talking on the phone. I FaceTime all of my friends. I do things like that. Also, sometimes like I'll go on like a hike or a walk, obviously safely, keep a safe distance, wear a mask, things like that. So that's kind of been the activities that I've been doing to see my friends. Luckily, my roommate is one of my best friends. So I've had her here to like help me through everything a little bit. I've had her company. But yeah, it's basically FaceTimes, outdoor activities you can do with your friends. That's kind of the only option right now, really, like to fully be safe as much as possible. You know, like if you have like a girlfriend or a significant other or like a lot of best friends, you can possibly, there are ways to hang out and be as safe as possible as long as you guys are taking all the other precautions. But I do not have that. So I'm just FaceTiming my friends and things like that. And it's definitely, it's hard, but you know, we're all in this together, and it's thinking like, I'm not alone in this. I'm not going through this by myself. It really is the whole world, the whole country right now. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
Yeah. RB3?
Just I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to do stuff here for First Cut, do stuff with Geeks of Color, and write and do stuff like that. I've been able to work on timestamps, so I've been able to keep my mind busy. And you know, thankfully I've been hanging out with Destiny, who you guys saw on our last live stream. So
yeah, you got a little lucky, bro.
I got a little lucky.
Before quarantine.
Right before quarantine. Yeah, perfect timing. But yeah, no, I'm super happy about that, and that's just been helping me out. But yeah, no, it's been a strain, and you know, it's definitely straining to, like, it's just straining because it's like at a certain point, everybody's irking to go out. Like everybody wants to just go back and have normal life, and just from the small things, like there's almost every time I like walk out of my car, I almost forget to get the mask, because it's like you almost forget you're living in this kind of climate. Then you know, but you have to remember that. And it's just it's tough, it's sad, but at the end of the day, if I just try and keep hope alive, just try and keep everything, keep my head high. I look at how First Cut's doing and how we're growing, and it just gives me hope for just stuff in the future. So, and speaking of which, y'all, if y'all want to continue to help this grow, please go ahead and submit your Streamlabs. We have a few Streamlabs here as well to read in a little bit, so we'll probably read them after this conversation. But please contribute to our streamlabs.com/firstcutstudio/tips, and that'll really help out the show. And thank you for everybody who's donated today. I see we have like 70 people in the watching live right now. That's really, really great. Please like this video. That really helps us push up in the algorithm and really helps us do a lot of amazing things. But I've been really proud of the content we've been making, honestly. Like our last week's episode with Winston, where we talked about black superheroes, that to me was a really great and amazing episode. We've had episodes of Paulo Yama, like on the Luca
Guadagnino.
There we go. That episode was amazing. We have so many great episodes. Obviously, a Josh Trank episode. So we've had a lot of great moments during this quarantine. So I'm just loving it. And I'm excited to do more stuff with you guys.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation because everyone has their own method. However, I do feel like it needs to be said that there should be a conversation in general. Just because without having that conversation, I feel like honesty needs to be the first option when it comes to talking about mental health and talking about therapy or therapeutic ways for you to survive this kind of closed in mentality. For me, first of all, and I know I'm steering off topic a little bit, but I just have to bring it up because I'm just like foaming at the mouth, like drooling at the mouth for it. And you know what it is, RB3? I've already like quoted it. That's basketball. Oh, yeah. The NBA is coming back July 30th. Zion Williamson is back. We got LA versus LA in the first day, Thursday night. But my thing, and I keep saying it because I had an interesting conversation with someone about the idea of basketball coming back and should it come back.
All right.
The whole idea of promoting this like everything's back to normal now. Watch basketball might be a bad thing, and I push back on that. And I'll toss it to you guys. Because I feel like there should be an open door for a safe way to enjoy something. And now that they're adding the Black Lives Matter banner to the court. I don't know if you knew about this, Sabrina. They're adding a Black Lives Matter thing to the court, and they're trying to figure out a way to make it a fund for the Black Lives Matter movement in general, whether it's taking a cut from the jerseys, taking a cut from anything else, from the players themselves maybe, and allowing the players to wear the symbols and the names they want to wear, whether it's Breonna Taylor or George Floyd or anything else like that, and opening up a different kind of conversation of focusing on the issue at hand, which is the Black Lives Matter movement, which is still going, by the way. I know a lot of people aren't covering it right now, but it should be said that it's still going. People are actively participating, and it still needs to be talked about and be brought up. And I feel like out of all the leagues, man, and maybe RB3, because you're a sports guy, and I know, Sabrina, you're not, but I still want to toss it to you. I feel like the NBA's got it. Like, the NBA's figuring out a way to say, hey, enjoy this therapeutic basketball session, which is, again, therapeutic for me. And at the same time, open up your mind when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement, because you're missing the point. If you realize, I'm a fan of the Utah Jazz. I saw a tweet where one of the Utah Jazz fans was like, I'm never going to watch a Jazz game again. And Donovan Mitchell commented, and he's like, good, never watch a game again. I don't want you here. Because, again, we talked about it in our Michael Jordan episode, RB3, but no offense to y'all Jazz fans, but y'all been known to be racist. And my thing is, like, I feel like that's kind of the way to do it. Opening back up, talking about Black Lives Matter, and saying, hey, we're going to do this safely. What do you think about that, Sabrina?
Well, I feel like they're setting a really good precedent. I don't know too many of the details on how they're going to be safe about it, but if they believe that they're being safe, and because, you know, people don't, like, obviously these are guys that are all healthy, they're all physically fit, but that doesn't always just keep you safe. So you really do have to ensure the safety of the players, safety of managers, safety of all of those. But it's also really great that they're highlighting that important movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, and giving it its moment and putting a lot of focus on it, because there is so much more work to be done, and we continue like supporting this every single day. And so that's really great, especially, I don't know too much about sports, but the way that like the NFL treated Colin Kaepernick with his protest, the fact that they're actually giving this a platform, giving this a voice within their sport is actually really, really great. So I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, NBA's always been the most woke sport, and that's why I've always loved it and appreciated it. You know, but with this situation with them playing, you know, I remember, for one, when we talk about the Black Lives Matter side of it, right? Like, I know Kyrie Irving had raised concerns about playing amidst the Black Lives Matter conflict, because he didn't want to distract from the greater issue that's happening right now in this country. And that's a totally valid argument. And I totally supported him with that. I know Dwight Howard has spoke and supported that as well, and a lot of players have spoke up for that as well. Now, I'm guessing now that Dwight Howard and Kyrie, I think, are both confirmed to play, if I'm not mistaken. I guess they figured out a way that they can have a medium ground for it. I always thought it would be good if they still did the NBA matches, but they had a Black Lives Matter commercial at every single commercial break, like, just to, so that's one of the ways.
That's kind of what it is, though.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, I push back on it just a little bit towards Kyrie, because I feel like, and maybe I'm just taking LeBron's side on this, and I swear I'm not trying to be on LeBron's side because I'm not a Lakers fan. But it's the idea of using your platform as an opportunity to educate, as an opportunity to speak up about it, as an opportunity to mention Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and the Black Lives Matter movement as a whole, and not using basketball as a way to throw that at people's faces. Like you said, RB3, a commercial every single time, just reminding people, like, this is what it is, this is what it is, this is what it is. I feel like that's a good thing. Yeah. I feel like basketball can even amplify it, if anything. Yeah, it
definitely can. But when we talk about the COVID side of it, now it's a different situation. Now, unfortunately, they are going out to play in Florida, Walt Disney World, which is like the kind of hotbed of where a lot of these cases are kind of sparking off right now. That's a little concerning. I know Avery Bradley of the Lakers had to step down from playing because his son has respiratory issues. That's a little concerning.
A few people did. Trevor Ariza did.
Trevor Ariza also stepped down as well. I love that they signed J.R. Smith to replace Avery Bradley. That's just the biggest meme of 2020. But
it is a meme.
And plus, that's not to mention who had COVID before, right? Like Kevin Durant tested positive. Rudy Gobert. There's a lot of players who tested positive before this whole thing. Are they in a good state now? Are there players who are still testing positive? Those are questions that I want, that are concerning, and I hope they're able to answer those before the end of the month.
Yes, but my pushback on that is the way they did it was they're pre-testing now. They already pre-tested last week, and they're quarantining in order to be good on time. And they're running tests every day to make sure all staff and all players are safe. And they're inside a bubble, which technically means that they're in Florida, but not in Florida. They're in a bubble Florida because they're only going to that campus and never leaving the campus. So I just feel like there's a safe way to do it, right?
From an objective standpoint, because obviously I don't care about sports. But I have seen, throughout the time of just being friends with the two of you, I've seen how much it means to you. And I could kind of have that with concerts. I would go to like 3-4 concerts a week just in my normal life since I was like 14 years old. But I am totally okay with them pushing this back just out of safety for everyone, the artists as well. And of course it is closed, contained, and we have like an audience. And they were able to, a lot of artists are doing like virtual concerts, basically like virtual live performances, which obviously isn't the same, but it's still a really fun thing. I just don't know if it's so necessary that you would want to put everybody at risk. I don't know, because it still is like it's a really odd situation. We're under really odd circumstances, and I know basketball makes a lot of people happy, like you two, but I just don't know. After like hearing more, you guys talk about it a little bit more, I don't know if it's really like the right move, because if players have to step down due to like their family members, things like that, it's like why even put the people who do want to do this in that position? Just because they don't have a son who is maybe like immunocompromised or things like that doesn't mean that they won't get into contact with somebody who is. I work at a coffee shop, and I just started going back to work about less than 2 weeks ago. And it does freak me out every single time I go in and I'm doing stuff. I'm like, I'm interacting with people that I don't know where they've been. I don't know if they've just gotten off of flights. I don't know what they've been doing. We require masks, and we're serious about it. I've had some people that try to like push back when they come in, but you never know how they are in their daily life. And then now we're kind of interacting, and we're trying our best, but I don't know. It's still tough. It's really, really tough. So I just don't know if it's super necessary.
Yeah, it starts to become a whole work environment kind of thing. It starts to become a financial thing, frankly, to be honest, because they're giving the players the chance to say, hey, you're going to lose a little bit of money this year. Why don't you try and get a little bit back by coming to this bubble in Orlando, playing, and if you want to amplify a platform, you can. If you choose not to come, that's okay. You don't have to come. However, I'm an employee. I want to go to work, and they're giving me a safe alternative for what the work safety precautions they're going to take. And at the same time, I do get to try and help my teammates win a championship. And I do get to amplify any platforms that I want to do. I see Paul Oyama in the chat, and he's pushing back on me, saying that how much bigger of a statement would it be if they all chose to sat out? The problem with that is that it's already in motion. So it's going to happen. Now it's your choice if you want to participate or not. But my thing is, if you choose to participate, how much bigger of a platform are you giving your story or your movement or whoever it is you want to speak up about? And he also mentioned, Paul, sorry, I'm picking on you, but you're pushing back on me, bro.
Paul, you want the link? Yeah, Paul, hit me up, man, if you want the link.
He's also mentioning the idea of employees coming in and out. That's true. However, those employees aren't getting in contact with any NBA players. So any employee that's getting in contact with the players, meaning any chefs or food related type stuff, are going to stay on campus. The only people that are leaving on campus is the non-essential employees, essentially. That's what I read from the 113-page report. From Adam Silver, and I'm gonna get off basketball. Sorry.
You read 113 pages?
No, I didn't read the whole thing.
I was like, you gotta study Star Wars, boy. Don't be reading it. Don't spend your time reading that.
No, trust me, it's therapy. I need basketball in my brain somehow.
I know.
Otherwise, I will go insane.
You've been
Yeah, I
talking
will
about it
literally
literally at the
translate.
start of this, so I know how much it means to you.
So my thing is like going back to movie theaters is now let's go to the big elephant in the room or the Black Widow in the room. What about those movies? What about November? Once November comes, once Bond comes, once Black Widow comes, once like literally every movie, Top Gun is coming in November too. What is the next step? Are we safely going to go to the movie theater and be happy to see my most anticipated? I know you guys said it was Tenet for you. For me, it's Black Widow. I love Black Widow, and I've been waiting for that movie, and I'm just like, Russian spy MCU stuff, cool. I'm in. What do you guys think about November?
I mean, for me, I hope November. That's optimistic. I mean, I think if anything, we gotta start looking at November or October at least. I'm thinking October or November, but I really don't. If it's not safe by then, it's not safe by then. We still not going. But hopefully by then, both we have more data, like we have a lot more people tested. And by the way, like I know everybody's saying like LA and California is like becoming a hotbed right now.
Yes.
But we do have really high testing and really low deaths right now. Like so it's been
Yeah.
we've been getting a lot of data, and I hope that happens across the board. Like I hope we just continue getting data, so where now scientists and doctors can start looking at things and start measuring ways that we can start applying things better. I also hope that people become more like Alamo Drafthouse. Did you hear about what Alamo Drafthouse is doing?
No.
Like they're doing this whole thing where they're like literally fogging out the entire theater with like disinfectant. You know what I mean? Disinfectant like liquid. That's fogging the entire theater. The entire theater is getting disinfected. They're cleaning it like very, very intently, disinfecting every seat, and they're taking like the most extreme like measures when it comes to making sure everything is safe. So if anything, let's try and be like that. Like let's try and be like let's try and make sure that we can't if theaters are opening, let's try and make sure that every single precaution is taken in the means that we could get back to normalcy. But I think it's possible. I think it's possible by November. I hope Bond doesn't move. I know Soul is going to open in November, which is one of my most anticipated too. I would hate to see that move, but whatever. If it's still not safe in November, it's still not safe.
Sabrina?
Yeah, that's definitely the thing. It's like, I think this is a lot more responsible than Chris Nolan every few weeks pushing back Tenet. It's just like, settle down, which obviously we already went over. But I hope so. I mean, it really just comes down to, I miss movie theaters so much. I don't think, this is the longest I've ever gone without seeing a movie in theaters ever since I was like 4 years old. And when we passed like a month and a half, that was the longest I had ever gone without seeing something in theaters. And so I miss it so much, but I just don't want things to open up until it's actually safe and we're ready. And what Alamo's doing is really, really great. But then we have the CEO of AMC saying like he's not going to require people to wear masks. So when one's good, another one is just, it's like, it really is just still 100% focus on safety and focus on what's important. And right now, as much as we love movies, everybody watching this, I'm assuming, loves movies. It's safety is first.
Yeah, it really is becoming that conversation. Paul Yama's still in the chat talking crap. He's saying Black Widow over Tenet and Dune. Someone get Ace's movie fan card. Hey man, you want to go at movie trivia, bro?
I want to go at the next.
Meet me outside,
the next Star Wars champion.
No, I'm just playing, dude.
I'm gonna send Paul the link, man. I'm sending Paul the link.
Also, quick shout out. It's MK Songbird's birthday today.
Yo, MK.
My mom's birthday too.
Yeah, hey, happy birthday, and Jess's mom.
Birthday.
And that actually gets to our what we got to get to next is reading back some of these
give it to me.
Streamlabs. We have a $20 donation from Alden Diaz, and per our commitment for our live streams, if anybody donates more than $10, it will get read out loud by like a robot. It's not a robot, but it's just a robot. So here we go. And this is from Alden Diaz.
RB3 should deliver his most savage disrespectful of all time to everyone who refuses to wear a mask. Hope your dad is feeling better, Sabrina. And happy birthday to Mrs. Cabrera. Much love to you all.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yay, thank you
Appreciate
so
that.
much.
Yeah, disrespectful. So yeah, that was and then we also had, do we have another one over $10? I feel like we did. Okay, I might have to refresh. But we also have Larry Lease donating as well. He on Streamlabs, he said, "Hey Ace, just have to say, subscribe to the Forced Toast podcast." Salute to Forced Toast. Salute to Laura Kelly. She's really amazing. She's a really amazing person. Yeah. Sinister Alec Miller writes, "Everyone in my house is currently recovering from the virus now. I wish everyone would take it seriously because the virus sucks. Waking up every day to a nonstop headache and body ache sucks so bad." Wow. Yeah, fool, man.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, praying for you and your family, man. That's really tough.
Honestly.
We have Monkey45 here who wrote, huge fan of you guys. Congratulations, Ace. And hi, RB3 and Sabrina. Stay safe.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
I have one here from a Will Watson who says, a true triple threat. Ace, who is a true ace, RB3, the ultimate cool, and Sabrina, whose talent and grace are already legendary in this community. There you go. Yeah. Much love,
Will.
man. Much love.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, kind of going back on what you said, Sabrina, about the whole political AMC thing. I don't know. I think there has to be a conversation, and I keep saying that word, conversation, about this whole political, non-political thing. And I know we talked about it during our Black Lives Matter stream, but I feel like it's a continual thing, man. You got to keep talking about it, because for real, Black Lives Matter should not be a political statement. It should just be common sense.
Yeah.
And it's the same with taking precautions for safety. Like, respect other people. If you don't want to respect yourself, that's one thing. That's cool. But like, respect other people, and show that you have enough decency to wear a mask, or enough decency to not be so lax when it comes to being gross with your germs and with COVID. So as long as companies realize that, and as long as companies realize that safety is first, and logic is first, common sense, I feel like, because I feel like movie theaters, what I'm leaning towards is that movie theaters are heading down a dangerous path right now with the kind of thinking that they're having, as far as, we're losing money, we got to open up, Trump. And it's like, whoa, like, hold on. That's not what you were saying before, but now you're saying that now just because of the whole, that's your audience now. That's who they're catering towards now. Movie theaters are now being like, oh, let's go after those people. The people who are like, it's a hoax. Those are the people we market to. And it's like, that's what I'm seeing for movie theaters right now, if I'm being honest. And the same with gyms. And that's kind of disturbing. That's kind of something that shouldn't be the case. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on that.
Oh, it's totally insane. The second I saw that, because I am on AMC A-list, I don't know, are either of you?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, so I am.
ArcLight all the way.
You love ArcLight.
I do.
But I'm on the AMC A-list, and I really, really do enjoy that deal and everything, but I was literally going to cancel it because of what he said and how he doesn't want to divide people politically and alienate any group of people and require people to wear masks. But it's like, it is just so insane to hear a CEO say something like that, and it just comes down again to putting their workers at risk, putting their employees at risk. It is so insane. It is just about decency. And I know right now, you're marketing towards the people who want to go out and want to go see a movie. The same people who protest being able to go see a movie right now. Or like being able to go get haircuts and things like that. People are actually out there protesting having to wear a mask. But yeah, it's just extremely irresponsible. It's so irresponsible. That's all it comes down to.
RB3, what do you think of this whole marketing strategy? And it happened, it's funny, right? Because it happened before. And I want to kind of bring it up with the whole Me Too movement, and how the Me Too movement became this whole thing where now people like Louis C.K., and I'm giving him shade right now because that's who is at the top of my head, were like, oh, I got Me Too, the same people I made fun of, I'm now going to go just do shows for them. With the whole switching over to like, well, I used to make fun of the Trump crowd, now I'm just doing shows for the Trump crowd. And that whole idea of businesses now marketing towards this whole different audience. I don't know what you think on that, RB3. And while I toss the question to you, I'm gonna grab something real quick. And I know I'm doing this midstream, but
for sure, you get
got it.
The whole culture war thing is just like dividing people, and it just does whatever. I'm not really the biggest like I don't buy into it as much. Like I know is everything. Like all these companies do is marketing scams. I remember was it Gucci or one of these like big fashion brands that did like the terrible blackface like mask looking hoodie thingy or something like that.
I think it was Gucci.
It was Gucci, right?
I think so.
And it's like and like they knew what they were doing. They knew that was going to offend people. They just literally only put it out for marketing. So it's like when that kind of stuff happens, I really don't have any like kind of faith in the system. I just know that's just the unfortunate reality of how businesses think. No matter how they're gonna offend people, they're still gonna go that way. And it goes down to the people too. I mean, I had a situation earlier, literally last month, where some like homeboy started crawling to the alt-right and getting all of his supporters to attack me. And like at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, that's just what the internet is, unfortunately. It sucks. It sucks that that there has to be like this, either you're this like SJW woke, blah, 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 or you're, extreme alt-right dude. But it is what it is. I kind of just, as long as you know your principles and know your values, I don't really shake my head too much at it. So,
yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Bursmato says, haha, Ace left to go grab them hands from Paulo Yama. Yeah, bro, come get these hands. Yeah, man, my thing is like, I really do feel like it's disappointing that the theater industry is kind of heading in that direction, because desperation, that's what desperation does, right? Desperation starts to change your attitude and change your faith, change your perspective on just world issues in general. Where suddenly, all of a sudden, you're like, well, if it means money and if it means, having some sort of financial aspect there, then sure, I'll sell my soul. Yeah. So be it. Yeah. And that's something that I personally can't do and I don't support.
No.
But it's interesting because I want to finish up on this. The idea between now continuing this digital atmosphere, continuing this non-theater quarantine atmosphere, the power of Netflix, streaming, VOD, whatever it is that's going to take over 2020 as a whole. What do we see this going? Because I feel like if anything, it's amplifying, right, RB3? The idea of more VOD movies, more streaming movies. The media is essentially, movie media is essentially covering just Netflix films and Hulu films and Hamilton, I guess. I guess we're doing reviews on Hamilton, something that came out like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
But what do you think it's going?
Well, I think it's, honestly, again, I've been a champion of the streaming services. I'm a champion of Netflix. I love that they're kind of having their rise to prominence because of this whole thing. It shows how much more viable it is to appeal to the masses instead of appeal to the few. And instead of raising ticket prices and raising like the cost to go to the movies, the better strategy is to make it more digestible for more people. I think that's brilliant. I love that. That's where things are headed. Now, it is unfortunate that the theaters are being lost in the wayside. And I think that is the biggest thing that concerns me the most. And I think, if theaters would have had a better strategy and a better rollout for how they're going to handle this whole COVID thing, I think things would have been in a much better position. But at the end of the day, the theater experience was already on its crippling knees. And the same way that the coronavirus accelerated our economic decline in this country and accelerated our kind of decline overall, like as a country, it signified an escalation of the decline of the movie industry, and it's really tough. But that's just what's happening. So.
Yeah, Sabrina, there's a movie coming out later this year that you're doing a review of, Palm Springs, right?
Yeah, it's coming out in about like 2 weeks-ish, less than 2 weeks.
It's on Hulu, right? Hulu bought it?
It's going to be coming out, yeah. So we'll definitely be doing a review and talking about it as we get closer to its release. But yeah, I just watched it last night, and this is a win for Hulu. I'm not going to say anything about the film, but I feel like streaming services lately, what they did with Lovebirds, which we reviewed on this channel, what they did with things like that, they really are killing it. This was a great acquisition. I mean, I know it made history at Sundance as being like the highest, highest cost to buy a film or whatever there. I think it was almost like $20 million or something like that. So they invested a lot, and it is a really great example of them doing a great job. I think it's going to reach a huge audience, but it's also something that could have done really, really great in a theater. It would have been that like really great summer comedy for sure. But the fact that it's on Hulu and we have it at home, I think it's going to be a huge hit during quarantine. So yeah, you know, we've been talking about VOD releases and streaming services and things like that throughout this entire time because that's our only option right now. I know drive-ins are doing something a little bit. They're showing some films like Capone. I know RB3's been to a few of them. I have yet to go. I really do want to though. I know I really, really want to. So maybe one day. But yeah, it is really, really cool to see streaming kind of taking this on right now and really, really doing a great job putting out some great content because we need it right now.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that actually transitions perfectly into a Streamlab that was donated through the amazing web. Again, people, if you donate more than $10 on our streamlabs.com/firstcutstudios, you're able to send in a $10. If you send in $10 or more, you're able to get it read out loud by the robot. And this is what the amazing web said. And he put a little GIF in there, or GIF. And
What's good, homies? Glad to be watching another live stream. Was wondering if you guys have had a chance to watch To Five Bloods yet. I sent my first ever very written review of it to Sabrina. Love you all. And Sabrina, you look great right now.
I look great too. No, but
yeah, we all look beautiful, guys.
it's funny. Oops, I was supposed to watch this movie. I'm sorry, guys. I've been so Star Wars distracted. I still haven't seen it. I want to see it. RB3 did a review for Geeks of Color on it.
I did.
A really an amazing review. And yeah, Amazing Web, he sent me his review and it was also really, really good. So, you know, that's another one. This was an exciting movie to be able to watch from home. Mm-hmm. It was something new. It was something refreshing. And yeah, RB3's Geeks of Color review was absolutely fantastic. So if you guys haven't checked that out, you definitely have to.
Yeah, and we're gonna review it on the channel eventually.
Yeah,
sure,
we will.
Calm Down Rich says Hulu's release of Big Time Adolescence was good, but I don't think it shocked the world or anything. Yeah, that's true, man. But I feel like what Hulu's doing, and maybe it's just me, is that they're combining their movie aspect with their TV aspect. Because look at Devs, like that was Hulu, y'all. Like people sleeping on Hulu. Devs was Hulu. And Devs was fire. And then What We Do in the Shadows, which I wrote a review on.
Yeah. Mrs.
America. And now Palm Springs. Like Hulu's popping stuff out, man. I feel like they can keep growing just as much as Netflix. And I think HBO Max is trying to find their footing. They're trying to figure out what to do. Which again, I'm just not sure where they're going, but I'm sure whatever they'll bring, it'll be fire too.
What HBO Max has to do, and it just blows my mind that they haven't done this yet. Y'all have to watch this Harley Quinn animated series on DC Universe. Like this is, to me, one of the best animated series I've seen in a long
I want to see
time. It is so good. It's brilliant. And the fact that like they put Doom Patrol, which is like a DC Universe exclusive, on HBO Max. They didn't put Harley Quinn on there. You could sell the entire, I'm not kidding, you could sell the entire network on just having this Harley Quinn show. That's how good it is. Damn. And it's not, and it's being so slept on. And it's like, and it just doesn't make sense. It's such a good show.
Yeah, if I'm being real, and again, I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for this just because I know there's a lot of DC fans out there. I love DC. And I'm the kind of guy who would probably pay money to get DC Universe. However, I'm broke, so I will only pay money for certain things. I wish, and I think it probably will happen. Why doesn't HBO Max and DC Universe fuse? It just becomes one. Everything you see on DC Universe can be on HBO Max. That way, I can watch the Harley Quinn show. I can finish Young Justice because I haven't finished it yet. Sorry, guys. I can catch up on all these DC shows that people have been talking about if you're a hardcore DC fan like me. And I don't have to pay the $6.99 or however much it is because I'm broke.
All right.
So that's what I wish they would do because they're Warner Brothers. They should have DC.
Yeah, and it's a brilliant show. It's such a brilliant cartoon.
I've heard that it's really, really great, and I want to check it out, but it's the same problem as Andres.
Yeah, I just did. I literally did the 7-day free trial, and I'm about to end it today. I'm finishing the show today, so
Full disclosure.
Yeah.
Holding nothing back, bro. First cut live.
Hold nothing back. We do have one. We have another Streamlab here that came in from A Torres, who writes, "Hey guys," and I want to actually bring up this topic as one of the first topics too. Hey guys, what are your thoughts on the Ray Fisher comments? And congrats Ace. # Swag Squad. Hey.
Yeah, I saw your tweet, man, and I'm with you. Honestly, like my thing is like, I think, and I'm gonna say again, I always say controversial stuff on here because whatever. You and I, RB3, have always been in a controversial side when it comes to the Zack Snyder stuff. People always like to make him a punching bag because they think that. And to their credit, because I do feel like I've been attacked by a few of them, the weird Snyder DC fanboys who are super hyper right wing, like nuts. Some of them are, have gone out of their way to attack people, and I think that's why they associate Zack Snyder and Justice League and anything BVS or Man of Steel with that, and that's why they're a little bit pessimistic when it comes to Zack Snyder as a whole. However, you and I, RB3, have always been kind of vocal defenders of Zack Snyder, of the Snyder Cut, of filmmaker over Warner Brothers, over studio. So I feel like Ray Fisher is finally speaking up.
Oh, my bad. It already started. Sorry, y'all.
No worries, man.
Looking forward to Sabrina's Patreon and also RBE's movie. I'm hoping Sabrina Ace and future Andrew Garfield Ramirez will star in your next film.
There you go.
That was Andrew Garfield Ramirez who wrote that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's my husband, guys.
There
Did I
you
not
go.
tell you I got married during quarantine to Andrew Garfield?
This is Andrew Garfield, no, is that the question?
But yeah, that's my thoughts, man. My thoughts is good. Let him speak. My thing is now people want to say, you know, someone said it best. People want to say cancel. I just want to say accountability, right? That's the difference between the two.
Yeah.
So if Ray Fisher wants to speak up against Whedon, so be it, man. Whedon made a pretty bad movie with that movie. I just got to be honest.
And it's one. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sabrina. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No, you should go because I have things to say for days for this.
All
for
right.
sure.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's the thing in the industry when it's like a toxic work environment, when you're dealing with people who are bad, but they have way more power than you, and you can't do anything, and you can't speak up about it. People have talked about other directors, kind of like Michael Bay and Megan Fox. He literally ruined Megan Fox's entire career, and she wasn't able to talk about it for the longest time because he was constantly sexualizing her since she was 15 years old. They told her, they're like, she was in the background of a movie, and they were like, oh, she can't sit at the bar because she's 15. And he was like, all right, I'm going to put her under this thing and have her in a bikini and water dripping all over her. She's 15 years old. And he continued to do that for her entire career until she literally got basically like blacklisted and nobody wanted to work with her because she was difficult. And I honestly really commend Ray Fisher for speaking out about this because people can see this type of behavior as difficult, even if it's the right thing to do. So definitely 100%. It's holding people accountable for their actions.
Yeah. And I think, and people, there's always this perception of like, oh, if you speak out, you're being difficult. If you're calling somebody out, like, you don't have to call them out publicly. You could call them out privately. Okay, well, then if the situation happens privately, you're going to get gaslit. You're not going to be able to speak the same way. You're going to speak and express the way you really want to feel about it. And frankly, we shouldn't have that kind of barrier. We shouldn't even have that kind of cap. Like if people, especially for somebody like Ray Fisher, who Justice League was his first movie ever. Like ever. He didn't have any screen credits before Justice League. This is his first experience ever being on set. And especially from a dude who comes from Broadway, where there's already like a different level of expectation and talent and time management that's expected on Broadway. There's already a lot of dedication to it. He's already have this toughened skin, but to have to work with somebody like Joss Whedon, who apparently was abusive, was mistreating him, was being a total douche on set about it. Listen, it's unexcusable. I don't care what Joss Whedon has to say. I know Jeff Johns had put out like or one of them retweeted. I think John Berg retweeted in kind of like a kind of sarcastic, like belittling way almost. And then they wrote out the whole PR thing with Jason Momoa, like literally an hour later. I think it's just absolutely embarrassing. Shame on anybody who was involved in the Justice League movie. It's already a bad movie. It's worse understanding that, it's worse even knowing that it just blows my mind knowing the fact that he had to go through 2 years of this whole cycle, this whole publicity thing, knowing that he had this big part in Justice League that ultimately got cut out, that ultimately got shaven down in exchange for this terrible, hogwash, washed down DC movie. It's crazy, and for a movie that's this bad to have to deal with a director who's apparently this trash on top of it is not worth it. And listen, Ben Affleck probably left for a reason. We see a lot of this whole band start to break up for a reason, and we see Warner Brothers starting to get behind this whole Zack Snyder cut for a reason. And so my side of it, Joss Whedon's trash. Everybody involved in the situation's trash. Get them out of here. I don't want to see anything more that they do. And if they're gonna treat their employees, especially their black employees, which again, you have to be extra sensitive. If you're a white man who's running a corporation or a set or any sort of position of authority, you have to be careful in understanding what you can and cannot do, how you can and cannot behave, and what behavior should and should not be tolerated. And the behavior that Ray Fisher is testifying for, that he's a victim of, I do not stand behind, and that's totally unacceptable.
For someone who doesn't know RB3, what was the statement they put out? What was the John Berg?
I have to go. Let me go here. And,
you don't have to get specific about it, but just in general, do you remember?
It was just some little these people had different experiences. It was a nothing statement. It was a water statement that everybody frankly does these days. And yeah, I mean, again, I've been in that situation before too, so it just makes it really, really upsetting to know. And let me see, this is what Berg told Variety, that it is categorically untrue that we enabled any unprofessional behavior. And he continued his quote saying, I remember Fisher being upset that we wanted him to say booyah, which is a well-known saying of the Cyborg and the animated series. Again, just a bunch of stuff that's like has nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, it's just it's terrible. It's sick. And Bray Fisher has spoken out about it multiple times at this point. I have no choice but to believe what he's saying. So,
what do you think they're going now? What do you think Warner Brothers is realizing now with the whole Zack Snyder aspect of it all?
They realized they made a mistake. They realized they shouldn't have jeopardized their whole movie for the fact of not they shouldn't have jeopardized their entire movie, their entire production, their entire universe, frankly, just because they didn't like a cut of a movie. They were so cowardly and they were so weak and measly and trying to meet all these deadlines that they had to hire Joss Whedon to come in for the sake of the stock bonuses or whatever. It's sick and it's disgusting. And if that's the way you're going to treat art, and that's the way you're going to treat creators, and that's the way you're going to treat actors and professionals on set, that's not something I can stand behind.
You know what's funny, man? Looking back at it, remember us? When was that? 2017 when that was all coming out?
I think 2017. Yeah.
Remember when they were doing that press stuff? When they invited 3 people of the press, I think Frosty was one of them.
Right.
And they were trying to do this whole hey, we're like the Avengers. We're fun and quirky.
Right.
And they were trying really hard to kind of pivot against the Zack Snyder dark stuff that people apparently hated, even though it made more money than Justice League did, almost double than Justice League. It's interesting because looking back at that, it kind of goes to show you that this whole reactionary effect of try to be like MCU really didn't work. And it really goes to show hey, maybe if you trust a filmmaker, even though there's a vocal audience that says, hey, I might not like that, there's still a filmmaker behind it, and that's his vision. Let him complete it and see what it could have been.
Right. And I feel like, especially in the case of Ray Fish, in the case of Zack Snyder, they use their overwhelming media control and media bias to kind of control the narrative in that way. And I feel like they're going to do the exact same thing with Ray Fisher. So I'm just going to continue being a blowhorn for this dude personally. I support whatever he's doing. I know he was in True Detective season 3 with Mahershala Ali.
He was, yeah.
Yeah. So
that was a great great season.
He had a great role, and I hope he continues doing great things. But it's just sad. It's unfortunate that we're in the position that we're in right now, especially with this situation. And I'm always going to rally for this dude. And people, please make sure you send in your Streamlabs, your Super Chats, whatever you want to do. Join in on this conversation. What do you think about this whole Ray Fisher thing? I think it's a big story. I feel like people aren't covering it like it's a big story. But to me, I feel like this should be like a headlining thing everywhere across the board.
I've said it before, man. I want to make this documentary because I swear the article I read, and I forget who it was, and I wish I can give them credit, but it was years ago when it gave the whole narrative aspect of what happened. It's gnarly. Like the kind of stuff that they purposely went out of their way to like re-edit what Zach shot, to create this story, to say it was his daughter, to put it on him, to say he messed up the movie, we're gonna fix it, and he's stepping away because of his daughter. Like the whole thing is so nasty and so like depraved as far as how Warner Brothers handled it and how they put it all on Zach, saying it was his fault and he's stepping away because of a personal tragedy, which it was, and then going out of their way to erase the movie and reshooting it with Joss Whedon and making Joss Whedon kind of the authority of it all. It's really freaking gnarly, and it's kind of something that it should be talked about more.
No, 100%. They kind of painted him like, oh, he's coming in, he's saving this movie.
He's saving the movie, yeah.
That really, it was like the worst part of the entire thing. And that's why, like, as much as, you know, like I just say I don't really care for a Snyder Cut, I definitely am like very curious, and especially because the story, that's what I feel like is more important. Just for Zack Snyder's side of everything and all the stuff he kind of had to deal with from the past few years, getting all this flack from everybody, I can't even imagine. So, yeah.
Yeah, BCD says, my mental health is affecting me too. You and SEN always help me feel less alone. I hope you and your families are well. Hugs to you, and I love you all. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Mary Lise says, hey, Ace, tip for the finals. Watch out for your Bespin moment. Yeah, shout out to John Roca.
Yeah. There's a Streamlab that came in from Tacken of the Source, and I know they may have mentioned in the chat that they hadn't it read out yet. They asked the question, what are your thoughts on NBA players kneeling? It's currently banned in the NBA. Do you think the NBA will enforce its own rules?
Really?
And why do you think it's still banned?
Is it really banned? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. If it is banned, I'm sure the NBA will unban it. I think, frankly, the NBA has proven time and time again that they are the most progressive basketball organizations. They're all the most forward-thinking. So I hope if players are going to kneel, I hope they allow it. And I hope there is kneeling, frankly. I hope they do kneel, and I hope that the NBA is cool with it. I hope and if it does become an issue of this against the rules, then I hope they take that rule away, because that's stupid.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Adam. And again, I don't know Adam that well, but what I've seen from him, he seems to be the kind of guy who's like, oh, that's a rule? Oh, we can change that.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. It should be like, oh, this has been a rule for 20 years. Fuck it. Change it.
Exactly.
Who cares? I don't care if it's been 20 years. Like, change it now, and we'll do it right now.
Right.
And that's how simple it should be. It shouldn't be that complicated. There shouldn't be a giant debate or committee about this. So yeah, that's my answer to that. Yeah. But yeah, man, obviously every industry, I guess we can finish up with this, whether it's the NBA or the movie theaters or anything else, has to realize like this movement isn't over. This thing doesn't stop. This train is keep going. It's kind of a jump on kind of thing. So having the chance to speak up and speak out and using your platform to speak about this kind of stuff should keep going in every single industry: basketball, football, sports, movies, anything in general, because I do feel like it's a conversation to be had. And people should be standing up for each other, because I feel like mistreatment is kind of a universal thing, especially in our industry, the Hollywood industry, which I've talked about openly the times I've worked on set, and I've seen the way people treat each other, and it's kind of disgusting. And it needs to stop, and someone needs to say it. So.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Why are you laughing, bro? Why are you laughing at me?
I'm laughing because Destiny's texting me. Apparently, I said that on the stream that I've been enjoying Harley Quinn, and she's mad that I am not shouting her out. Apparently, for her putting me on. But I swear I thought I put her on. But she put me on apparently. So there you go. She put me on. So
that's pretty bad, bro.
Y'all,
I hate it. I hate it when people do that. Like you, Sabrina. No, I'm playing.
When
When you're like, I love this movie, I'm like, I'm the one who told you about that movie.
Which one? I literally run that back, name me an example, but honestly, hearing that and seeing RB3 smile, oh my god, that's the sweetest thing in the world. Because you know when you just get, sorry guys, you know, quarantine has been rough.
Yo, I'm debating like sliding into DMs, y'all.
Yeah, you might.
I'm debating like Zoom dates, bro. Like,
that's the way.
that single life is real.
Yeah, if
That
anybody,
I'll take a Zoom date.
Same at this point. I'll take any of that.
I'll take a super chat date.
yeah,
all I feel
Streamlabs.
is pain.
Yeah. If anybody want to hook up Ace with a date, make sure you donate via
Hey,
Streamlabs, super chat. You know what I mean?
Why don't you hook me up, man? Or you? Both of y'all.
Hook you up? How am I gonna hook you up? How should I hook you up,
You
bro?
all got no friends?
I have friends and they all love you.
So. Hey, there you go.
Either way, I totally feel that. Yeah, I wish I had that RB3. This is us being jelly. I don't think you're ready for this jelly, bro.
I'm about to cry after this. Like, seriously, I'm holding in my emotions. That was the sweetest thing I've ever seen. Gosh.
Any final super chats or Streamlabs RB3 before we call it a deuces?
Let me make sure real quick. And guys, make sure you put it last chance for Streamlabs super chats. Any way you can contribute to the show it's a really big way of helping us, and we're able to do more things and stream more and have bigger things happen for us. So but yeah, let me go in here and check one more thing real quick.
Destiny came out and she said, Andres, do it, slide, baby, do what you have to do to lose. You have to lose. Yeah, I'll do what I have to do. I'm doing it, guys.
You know
what you gotta
that's
do.
the thing. You know, sometimes you just gotta slide in. I have an ex-boyfriend. I ignored his DM slide-ins for like 3 months, and then I ended up falling in love with him. So, you know, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Anything can. This was a long time. This was like years ago, but like anything can happen. You never know. That's what I'm saying. Respectfully slide into the DMs.
Hey, I have a podcast.
You know what, and that's funny too, because there's somebody else in this space who got a little something for you, but I gotta tell you about it off camera for sure.
Okay,
I gotta tell you about that.
Oh my god.
Okay,
we're setting on get Andre's.
I'll take what I can get, bro. I don't care.
No, we got to.
We're setting that up. Get Andre's a girlfriend.
We got to. We have one Streamlab here from the Amazing Web who donated $1. He said, off topic, but what's your advice for someone who wants to get into the film industry but isn't sure whether they want to do producing, editing, or film critiquing, and also can't afford to go to school, let alone film school like the OG RB3?
That's a you question, bro.
That's a me question. Oh my goodness. Well, I would just personally say you don't have to go to film school. Film school is they teach you like the history of film, the fundamentals and all that. But you can learn all of that stuff just from reading books in the library and researching online and participating in the communities and all that kind of stuff. You could become a film historian before you even get to film school. And if you do get to, like for me, like I've been actively like watching movies for a long time. So when you got into film school, you've seen not all, but you've seen a couple of the movies you already watched. So yeah, just by being a fan and just by being a simple movie watcher, you could get into film. In terms of how to determine what you want to do, I personally say try everything. I remember like my first year at USC, I was a senior producer for this TV show, the USC TV network called Trojan Vision. So I was a senior producer on one of the shows there for like a whole 2 years. There was what else was but then at the same time was taking like editing classes, and at the same time I was doing all of this stuff. So you just kind of get your hands wet in everything, and you just figure out whichever one you like most. And whichever one you like most, you should definitely do, because you don't want to get stuck doing something you don't want to do. So just do it. And you could produce a short film with your friends. Like you could just be like, oh, you have one friend who has a camera. Okay, get him to come on one day of the week. You have another friend who likes to act. Get him on. That's producing. That's literally what producing is. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Style and Moose donated a super chat. Says, did you guys get the chance to watch Eurovision, the story of Fire Saga on Netflix? It was supposed to be actually pretty good and had people from Eurovision in it. By the way, you're awesome, Ace. Thank you. No, I haven't seen that. Have you guys seen that? I think that's the Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams one, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna watch that either tonight or tomorrow morning. I'm really excited for that one. So hopefully in the coming week or something like that, we can all get together and review it because it seems like it's silly and fun. I'm
when I saw the trailer, I can't
lie.
lie. I was like, this might be a little silly, a little too silly.
It's goofy. I actually watched, me and the boys, Cade, and our other friend Riley. We had a little slumber party.
Me and the boys.
The boys. So we had a little slumber party this weekend. We actually did turn on that movie, and it was.
Y'all had a slumber party?
Oh yeah. It was a good time.
Breaking quarantine left and right, bro.
Is that breaking quarantine? It's being safe. The group less than 10. So it was but I actually ended up falling asleep on it. I'm not gonna lie. So I caught the very beginning and then I caught the very end. What I will say is Rachel McAdams does an incredible song at the end of it. Like she kind of like I don't know if she's really singing or not, but her character, whoever she is, she has a great song, and that's definitely an Oscar type of song for her. Definitely not Oscar type of movie. But you know what, Sabrina? Recently, I was thinking of one of our favorite movies, Pop Star, and. What was there was a line in there. I was trying to think. Oh, because of the late great Joe Schumacher, I never forget the line in that movie. Like, oh yeah, have you seen Flatliners, directed by Joe Schumacher, shot by Larry Fong? It's like I don't know. That's one of the funniest lines in that entire movie. I think Bill Hader says that.
Because he's obsessed with flatlining.
Yeah.
That is another one. See, that's what I was looking forward to for this film. I haven't got a chance because I've been moving for the past week and a half and it's been insane. But that's why I want to watch this movie because it kind of gave me those ridiculous vibes because Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping. RB3 and I have had so many conversations about this movie.
I've never seen it.
It is my favorite. I saw it in theaters 4 times that summer, and I've seen it countless other times since. It is so funny. It's hilarious. I was actually going to watch it the other day.
We should do a commentary about it. I was thinking about this.
Let's do it.
I was thinking about it because of you, Sabrina, because I was personally wanting to rewatch this movie that I really liked last year, but I haven't because of the Star Wars thing. And that's It Chapter 2. Yes. I would love to do me and you, Sabrina, because FRB3, he's a hater. It Chapter 2 rewatch along or watch along.
Oh yeah, y'all could do that. I'm chilling.
Because I love that movie, and I know you love it too, right?
I love it. I love it.
And I think us just kind of bantering back and forth about how ridiculous Bill Hader is in that movie, but amazing at the same time. I think that'd be fun. So we can do both. Pop Star.
We should have just a Bill Hader type of thing since he's in that one and he's in Pop Star.
And we could do a Barry thing. Have you seen Barry?
Yeah, of course. That's one of the TV shows that I absolutely love. Fleabag and Barry, because you guys know if you've watched me on anything, I am notoriously bad at watching TV shows, and that Barry and Fleabag were the 2 that I've actually seen multiple times, both seasons. So yeah.
I still quote SNLs from Bill Hader. Many of them. So I quote the telenovela one he did. Have you guys seen that one with J-Lo?
Yeah.
And he's reading the will, and they all can't speak Spanish, so they just say one Spanish word like sí or no. And his is cero. So he's reading the will, and each family member is getting nothing from the will. It's supposed to be like a funny telenovela thing, and he's like cero. And I quote that every time. And I quote, what else do I quote? I do the whole dance thing he does when he's in the box. I still think it's the funniest. He's like, that is so funny to me.
Really quick, that's just something I want to talk about. Bill Hader is so immensely talented. Even in It Chapter 2, he stole the entire film from people like RB3 staying silent. From people like Jessica Chastain, James McAvoy. He's up in an ensemble with these incredible high-profile actors, and he's holding his own. And no spoilers for It Chapter 2, but it's been out for a long time already. But the scene, you guys know what I'm talking about with the deadlights.
Yes.
With the deadlights, that moment. What?
That's my favorite moment. That's my favorite moment. Yes. His body and face and everything, it's so perfect. And he is, oh my God, that is one talented man, Bill Hader. I have the biggest crush on you. That's a weird crush, but okay. I get you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Have you
Homeboy,
seen Trainwreck?
homeboy, yo, can I get some little drip that little Hollywood gossip on you guys before we leave?
What?
Didn't Homeboy steal Anakin Skywalker's girl? Like, is that real?
Oh yeah.
Yo, that's dirty, bro.
Well, they divorced.
Yeah, but still, bro, that's Anakin Skywalker's girl.
Oh my god. On your Star Wars stuff right now.
Yeah,
No.
I'm just like, bro, I feel for my boy Anakin. He's over here hating sand. He's over here murdering sand people.
I'm not happy about it either. Hello, I love Bill
Yeah.
Hader. He's like literally top 3 crushes. I love him so much. But yeah, he is completely underrated. So I would love to do something like that. And also, you need to watch Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping. So RB3, let's get him on that.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll watch it.
for sure.
It looks funny. Alrighty, guys. Any other super chats before we take off? Or
Let me
Streamlabs?
go in here one more time and look. I think we might have missed one. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Did you read one from Will Walton, who says a true triple threat? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you read that one? Okay, cool. And then Larry Lee said off topic as a schmodown. I want to show support for all female competitors. Did we read that one?
No.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Okay. This is a $10 donation from Larry Lee on Super Chat. By the way, guys, submit through Streamlabs or Super Chat. Off topic as a schmodown, I'm guessing a supporter. I want to show support for all the female competitors. If people don't have nice things to say, then keep your mouth shut. Absolutely, I 100% agree. The ladies of the Schmodown are, our blood and our life force, and they've done so many great things for a league. If you're talking about Rachel Cushing, Clark Wolf,
Stacey Howard.
Yeah, Stacey Howard, Mara Kanape, Emma Fife, literally all of these women, Janine the Machine, all of these amazing, talented women. Laura Kelly. And yeah, especially by the way, I hope people don't interpret like our kind of like hyping up of Ace as like us.
Yeah, that's never what it is. That's not what we're about.
Yeah, no, we don't represent that at all. Like, I really truly feel like we should be celebrating strong, dynamic women competitors in this league, especially because we want to encourage more female fans to be a part of this community. We want to encourage more female watchers and listeners to be interactive in the YouTube movie space, because frankly, that's an untapped market that has a lot of potential. So, it's always important to keep that female representation at the top priority. I know, Sabrina, you're about to start competing soon, so best of luck out there. I know there's a lot of terrible commenters out there, but ignore the heat, ignore the smoke, and only look out for the positive. That's my advice.
Yeah, I know I have both of you guys, and I have people like Dwayne, and everybody in the community is so supportive of the women. And that's the thing, it's like I was on a certain point of view because they did their ladies night schmodown special where they would they invited every single person, and they talked to me because it's like, you haven't played a match, what are your thoughts about going into this? Were you nervous? And I told them the story really quick about Christian had asked me before the initial draft, like, if I wanted to, and I honestly didn't know if I could handle all of that attention and all of those like types of comments. So that's why I didn't do it from the beginning. But I know now, like, now that I'm finally in this, I'm on SEN, things like that, that I can handle criticism and things like that a lot better than I thought I was able to. But it really does suck that we have to shine a light on things like this. It's crazy that women just get pushed down so much further than men just from missing one question, putting up a great match and still losing. Laura Kelly did incredible. I hope
she did.
And
I reached out to her and I told her, and
yeah.
again, that's not me. So
yeah. This is no, not at all. And this is a competition.
Yeah.
And this is something exciting, and this is something fun, and we're all doing this because we enjoy it and we love it. That's what it is. We're celebrating film, and we're celebrating our knowledge of film. And if you're a fan of something, why would you want to tear down a certain group of individuals that are a part of this thing that you like? If you like the Schmodown, there's no reason to tear down the women of the Schmodown just because a woman misses a question or something like that. It just doesn't really make sense. So yeah, just to the men out there, just do better to not objectify, harass, or talk down to any of the women in the league, because it really is important. And as a woman who... I was a fan of all of this movie internet space for so long. For years, I watched AMC Movie Talk and things like that. Like, this is forever ago. And you really, really didn't see any women doing it. Like, there was just not really a lot of women in space. there have been huge leaps since, basically, but we're still not to like where we need to be. And it's something that I've talked about often, and I have younger girls messaging me saying like, I see you on SEN, and it just gives me a lot of hope because this is what I want to do, and it means a lot to see women on screen talking about movies with the guys, you know, because like in what world do like women, is it like where women can't be geeks and women can't be nerds and women can't like movies as well? We're all on the same level and we're all sharing our love. And so I want to give a quick shout out to you two just for doing, and I've said this 1,000 times, but I just love you guys so much, but just doing what you do for me all the time. You guys, you two and Dorian have backed me so much since the beginning, and it really just genuinely means the world. Like the way RB3 wanted to bring me on and you were like, hell yeah, let's go for it. And it's really the coolest thing, and it means the absolute world because you guys changed my entire life in like a month.
Of course, yeah. And our thing too is like we want to always amplify your voice, and we want to make sure you have a voice and an opportunity to speak up and say what you want to say. And sure, super chat time, I guess.
Oh no, this it's just
Oh, it's just the sound. But yeah, my thing is like giving you the chance to do that and to amplify your voice specifically because you are a special part of this community, and First Cut is your channel just as much as it is ours.
Thank you.
So,
yeah.
much love, Sabrina.
Oh, thank you.
No, you know I got you. I texted you.
I know you guys, Dorian, Dwayne, all of you guys, Brandon, Hannah, you guys all got me whenever, like I know that. So.
Yes, Brandon Hannah just entered the chat too, by the way. What's up, Brandon Hannah? Thank you for being part of the show, man.
Yeah, he helped me move. That's the one person I've seen basically during this quarantine was Brandon, and he helped me build like all of my furniture. So
that's crazy.
Shout out to Brandon. Yeah.
Yeah, my thing is like always 100% support every single woman and part of the community. And if I'm being frank, because that's what I do, I just be frank. The community, point it out, call people out, you know, make people accountable for what they say and say, hey, don't say that. Because frankly, a lot of people have been saying this stuff for years. My God, bro. Again, I always bring up the fact that I've been with this whole community since like 2014. But yeah, since like 2014. And I've been seeing the same stuff. And honestly, it needs to be called out every time. And I will call it out every time. So, yeah.
And I 100%, because that's what makes the change. That's what helps with representation, helps with inclusion. It's when people, it goes back to the Ray Fisher incident that we were talking about earlier. When it's called out, there can be an actual change. If you deal with it like in silence and things like that, then nothing's going to happen. So I feel like more people need to show support with him vocally, people in the industry, people who have worked on the film. And then that's the same thing with this. If you see something that's like rude or just distasteful, call it out. If somebody makes a certain comment about a person, call it out. That's it.
Yeah. Sorry about my dog, guys. But yeah, a little bit of super chats. We got 156 Impulse says, don't mess with Sabrina. Hashtag Team Sabrina. 100%. Yeah, we got you, girl. Larry Lee says, hey, Ace, got a video to send you from Rachel and Sam. You got a shout out. Cool.
Oh, Rachel and Sam shouted you out. That's what's up.
Yeah, I was going to say two goats.
Yeah.
Shouted me out. That's cool. Yeah, send it to me.
Yeah.
Shoot me a DM or something. And RB3, you got some?
Any more Streamlabs? Let me check one more time. Let me refresh. Again, guys, streamlabs.com/firstcutstudios. Yeah, I think we got everything covered today. So yeah, it's looking good.
Sabrina, we love you. We appreciate you. You're an amazing voice in this community. You're incredible on the mic, and you're a great presence. And you're a good friend.
Yeah, and a great co-host of the Gucci thing, right? Like, how is?
Oh, is that what you're doing now?
Yeah. So of course.
Traitor. No, I'm kidding.
So of course, like, this is my number one. This is my number one love. But yeah, if you guys want to catch me on other things, I have Cocktails and Castings with Ben Goddard on his channel, and
other things.
I have Cocktails and Castings with Ben on his channel, and then I also have Ask Gucci Tonight. So it's every Wednesday night at like 9 p.m. So if you guys want to send any questions to that, I'll be there.
Good deal. Thank you guys so much for listening, watching, subscribe, follow us at First Cut TMO on Instagram and Twitter. You can find me at Squad Leader Ace.
You can find me at Director RB3.
You can find me at Sabrina X Monica and also Sabrina on Film.
Oh, there you go. Look at you. Either way, guys, for the First Cut Live crew and the Meaning of Podcast, I'm Andres. It's RB3. That's Sabrina. We're peacing out. Peace.